The Ball Guy Show starts right now. Hope you enjoy the show. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. What's up, everybody? Another episode. I'm excited today. But before we get to the episode, the next couple episodes, I'm going to be mentioning auto hail repairs and contact my buddy Tim if you've had any hail damage here in the DFW area. Yeah, I'm wearing my Dolphin shirt. I am originally from Miami. For those that don't know, but I do live in Dallas. I do bleed aqua and orange, but I do live in Dallas. So we've had some hailstorm the last week or so. So if you've had any hail damage, you want to contact my buddy Tim. He will take care of you. He will know what to do. All right, just hit him up. If you have any hailstorm damage to your vehicle, call Tim today. All right. Also, my next guest, her songs have popped up on wepa.fm. So if you have not downloaded the wepa.fm station, you are missing out to the best bilingual internet radio station, not just in the States. I've been saying it, but on the planet. It's a station that the Ball Guy listens to. That's me. All right. And I've been getting a lot of people into the station because this station is amazing. All right. They play not just old school, but new school, Spanish, English. Man, I even got to listen to some music from Cuba on the station. All right. So yeah, my next guest has a hit song, all right, that she recorded with DJ Jorge Ojeda, founder of wepa.fm and Destu Records. Let's listen to her song right now. All right. Let me tell you something. What a great song, Kylee. And folks, Kylee Kubat. Great song. I can't stop listening to the song. I've been jamming to the song all day. Yeah,
Sweet.
great song, great song. You and George did a phenomenal job, folks. You guys gotta go check out the song. It's on YouTube. She has a video on YouTube. Uh, Also on Spotify. You can check it out anywhere where they have the song. Where they have music, you can find the song. Kylie, you were part of the Death Records Takeover episode a few episodes ago. What do you remember the most about that experience?
Well, I really loved just being there with, everybody. Because there's so many people that were involved, just in Miami, right? Miami's like music culture back, the origins of freestyle and living through that period that I, wanted to live in so bad, right? That's why I'm here, right? I love the 80s and I love music and I love freestyle. So it was really nice to hear everybody's, like just history and the memories. And so, but it's also nice being like a part of like the future of it, which is wild. But George and Pito, it's like this, like it's real, like it doesn't die and it keeps going. And so I'm just so blessed that God called me to do it. I heard the call and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll follow music.
Amen. Okay, so you are fascinated with the 80s, but you're not from the 80s, are you? I'm sorry, and with all due respect, when were you born?
I was born in 2001.
Okay, so I knew it. So you're my son's age. You're my middle son's age. Okay, when were you born? What month?
I was born December 21st. So I'm a winter baby.
Our oldest she was born in December 30th.
Oh my God.
1996.
Oh,
she's
so cool.
96. Okay, so so this is amazing. You're a 2001 baby. Yet you are fascinated with the 80s. Why? Not criticizing because I feel like I'm stuck in the 80s. I'm stuck in the 80s. Me, I can't get out of it. The best music, not taking anything away from the music now. Yeah. Although your song has an 80s vibe, it's even in your music video. Why?
Well, literally, I guess I was just born this way because the like earliest memory I have of loving 80s things was me and my mom. We would go to the local library over in Pensacola, in West Pensacola, which is like pretty oaky and stuff. And we go over there and they would be selling like used National Geographics and free books, So there's this gold one. And I remember I was probably like second grade. And my mom, I was like, can we get it? And she's like, okay. And it was in 1988. It was like the special edition. So as a kid, I would flip through the pages. And I just loved the ads. I mean, I didn't really read the articles. And I loved reading as a kid. But, I loved the ads. That was like my favorite part. And they had like music ads, like VCR or cars. And I do love cars. And so they had car ads and stuff. So that's like my earliest memory of loving the 80s. And, I guess just like where I live, because me and my mom were just talking about that the other day. We're like, why are you so attracted to this architecture and this music? And I think it's just because I was raised around it. Like I lived in a lot of really cool, actually like 60s houses, which, the 60s kind of came back in the 80s and terrazzo floor, things like that. And then like music and my mom, of course, I grew up on like everything, just 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, everything that today, at the time it was the 2000s, right? It was new at the time. So all of it. But I really, like I always loved the 80s, but it really started when, I guess I should say middle school, kind of when you're trying to figure out yourself, and that was when I actually started like dressing 80s. But I always liked colors and funky shapes, triangles. I love triangles. It's like the official shape of the 80s.
How were the kids with you in your school when they saw you dressing? Like, okay, you are you like Marty McFly? Did you travel? Which I'm sure some people people your age don't know Marty McFly unless,
No way. That'd be so sad. But it was funny though, because like, I would wear like lace gloves, like Madonna, because I was like really getting to Madonna. This is about 10 years ago now. It's like 20, it was like 2016. And I was wearing gloves to class. And I remember the kids would be like, they'd look and they're like, they're like, why? And I'm like, it's 80s. And they're like, oh, it's kind of cool. They just don't know, And it was fun. It was really fun. A lot of people thought I was like a hippie or something, but so
Okay, so for those just meeting you or just seeing you, for that, maybe those that did not watch the Death Student Records episode, we're gonna get to know you a little bit deeper. Who is Kylee Kubat today?
Who is Kylee Kubat today? Well, I am I'm a sort of pop star, I guess. Not to sound brash or anything, but you gotta say these things out loud. But no, I'm a time traveler from the 80s. I live in the 80s. And but currently I graduated from Auburn and building science, which is construction. So I'm a Florida real estate agent. Going to soon to be a contractor, hopefully building homes and doing a lot of the design, which will incorporate a lot of those vintage, elements. And so I'll be a designer, contractor, and singer, songwriter. Also, I love videoing, so videographer too. That's really how it started. That's how I got into music. It's just because I really like the videos. That was my heart over. I guess MTV, right? But it's YouTube for me.
What's driving you right now in this season?
What's driving me right now? Prayer. All prayer.
Amen.
Yes, sir. Because there were a lot of unknowns like 2 or 3 years ago, and a lot of changes when you graduate from college. When you graduate from high school, big changes. College, big changes. But I really started the music, in college, but I always dreamed about it in high school. And I love freestyle. So I found like Sunday, Expose, and all of them. And I just fell in love with all of them. And I was like, oh my gosh. So as I found more and more music, more and more rare underground singles and stuff, I was like, I want more of the sound. So that kind of made me want to make music. So I started it. It was like a bud. And then as I get older, it's really blooming into something that never expected to do, but perform more and hopefully, dance more and learn, more dancing, more choreography, different stuff, and more theatrical things, along with the music and also, so I moved a house. I don't know if you saw or heard about it, but it's in the Don't Stop Us Now music video. And prior to that, like I said, there were a lot of unknowns, and by the grace of God, we moved that house. And there are so many things at play that could have went wrong, and they did go right, and it was a test of faith. And so that project, as well as having sort of like a portfolio now, all the music, working with George is like a dream come true. So I think moving forward is going to be lots of good things going, a lot more confidence built up, right?
And how did freestyle come into your life? Was it through your mom? Did your mom listen to freestyle growing up?
It was my mom, and she'd have like different mixes, on the CD, and we put it in the car and we're pumping. And I didn't know it was freestyle at the time, but I always loved 80s music. So as I explored more 80s music, I figured out, I like dancing, and I like more hip hop beat. I like more electro beat. So then I started thinking about, okay, which songs that my mom raised me on is like, Planet Patrol and, Don't Stop the Rock and stuff like that. And it was like, oh wait, I like freestyle, So, and then of course my love for Expose, and then, going down Louis Martinet and his production, it's like, that's what I love. And even like, other 80s people like, Depeche Mode and Pet Shop Boys, and they'd incorporate freestyle, right? And it was like, oh, I like freestyle. So that's how I became really freestyle focused. And then, just knowing that Miami was like the source. And that made me feel like I resonated with it even more, because I'm from Florida and I love the beaches. I love condos, and I love having, your boombox out on the beach jamming. Like that's like, dancing all out there. That's like, so I really loved the Miami connection with it and the Floridian connection. So it really made me love freestyle more. Um, Now the dad who raised me was from New York. His name was Dada Jim. So, going into like freestyles, source, back in New York in the early days. So then that made me love that too. And, so it's just a big, like, just good fuzzy feeling. Like I love freestyle just meant to be.
And you mentioned some names that come from Miami. Expose. They came straight out of Miami. If I'm not mistaken, Kendall. Secret Society,
Love
Miami.
Society. All my, yes, sir.
Rudy Gill, Secret Society. I mean, Jocelyn Enriquez, if I'm not mistaken, is from South Florida as well.
Really?
I believe. Well, at least I know. I remember working in the mall, Miami International Mall.
You worked at the mall?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh my God. And as 80
many, way before you were born. Yeah. And I remember, I believe it was just, sorry, but anyways, what's been the biggest shift in your life in the last month or so since we recorded the last episode?
Well, the biggest shift would be completing the house project that I've been working on. The house, I guess, yeah, last time I talked to you, it was still on wheels. So now it moved on the pilings and we're starting to complete that. And living in there, it's a very creative house. So it's all original 80s, like everything from the appliances to the furniture to the wallpaper, like the big red tub in the bathroom. Like it is.
Oh, you have wallpaper too?
Oh, yeah, metallic.
Oh, it doesn't get more 80s than that. It doesn't get more 80s than that, for sure.
It's awesome. And I think moving in there is going to help propel creativity, because I've done a lot of little videos in there, and I play music, and that helps fuel, creativity. Also, since we spoke, I've been working on some more tracks and thinking about new things and new outfits to go with the vibe of the songs. So just a lot of prepping. Yes, sir.
Who inspired your sound early on? Who in particular was that one artist that you say, man, that's who inspired me the most?
Definitely the original Exposed. Lori Miller, Sunday, LA, definitely them. Because so my first song was Condos by the Sea. And if you listen to it, there's a lot of like Exposed to Love elements in that track I wanted. And a little bit of Madonna and a little bit of Stevie V, but definitely Expose was Lori, they're all so sweet, Lori's so sweet. And I haven't met LA, but she sounds really, really nice. So
now, do you feel that the genre is evolving or staying true to its roots, or both?
Both. Definitely both. I love like seeing the new freestyle people. So like Alexis J, I don't know if you've seen her and what she's doing, but she's got like really cool. She's like total retro, but like bringing in some 90s, bringing in some 2000s, like hip hop. Like she's kind of doing like electro. I think that's like a good example of like evolving, Hilda, I love Hilda's track. I'm Free to Love. That is like, to me, it's so vintage, but yet so new. And I think people, especially kids, like kids my age and younger, like I see them wanting to dance. Like they want electronic music. And I mean, not that today's electronic music, like if you go on the top charts and listen to it, it's good. A lot of house, a lot of trance and stuff, a lot of EDM still there, but I think they're wanting something more. And I think that freestyle is starting to appeal, like staying true to its roots, but also new instruments, new sounds are coming out. And I think I think the world is starting to shift to more dance culture. And I think freestyle is right now on the edge of really a new era, let's just say. I mean, it's always been a new era, but this I think is going to be, kind of accelerator, something different.
Well, and speaking of the new era, new generation, what do you think the new generation is getting right about freestyle?
I think that they know their history. I mean, not just me, like take me out of it. A lot of people I know like love the old school. and they love jamming to the old school and they jam to the new school. So I think that because they're learning about the culture, because that's what really matters a lot, because it's community, you know, the music brings community together, and learning about who made the track, who produced it, you know, who's connected to who, and caring about it. And then, you know, appreciating the music, not just stream it once, don't buy a CD, you know, don't do it. You know, they're actually like going to concerts, you know, wanting to buy stuff. Like, and that's why I think the new culture, yeah, they're preserving that. That was somehow lost in between, I guess, when CDs and vinyl. So I guess I'd say like 2000 and maybe like 2013, it went down. And then people, you know, they all streamed, and then of course vinyl had a resurgence. But it's not just physical media, but now I think there's a resurgence for just like artists, local indie art, like caring for artists. And a lot of kids do that. A lot of them do now. And I think that's great.
Yeah, and also you said something, you touched on the history, and because your generation, your people your age, like your mom, she's I'm sure around our my age, my wife's age. You guys listen by force to listen to what we listen to, what we grew up on. And that's what my daughter will listen to. Information Society.
Yeah.
My daughter stayed in Florida, and she'll call, Poppy, I just listened to Information Society today.
Yeah.
You know, you'll really like. Yeah, I thought about you, and go, because she grew up on that, or she listened to you know, Little Susie or something, and she knows these songs, and she knows these artists because of me and because of my wife, you know. So I think that's why you guys, the new generation, knows your history, thanks to us. We
owe it all
the old people.
Parents, y'all are bad to the bone, man. Y'all are real deals. I sing that real deals, y'all. It's an homage to y'all.
Let me ask you this: have you ever doubted your place in the genre?
Never did. You know, I felt like when I really wanted to start, because I like dancing, so I wanted to do dance music, and I knew that if I could just get people, because freestyle music makes me happy, and it makes you dance. And then in turn, that makes other people happy. Like you're smiling at them and you're dancing, and it's just happy. And what's wrong with being happy? You know, today's
nothing whatsoever.
There's so much depressing, and I get it, because people want, you know, we all struggle and we want to relate to the struggle. But I also think there's nothing wrong with being cheesy. There's nothing wrong with being happy, you know. And so freestyle. So I never doubted that, because I knew that I could dance and I want to make other people dance, and that joy could shine through. The fruits of the spirit, right? From God, you know, that joy and love and just shine through my music. But it did start off like, because I love condos and I love architecture. So I did start off doing music in a little different, something really different, is I wanted to sing about the places I love. And it's not an advertisement, you know, it's not, it's just art. It's just poetry. It's just the experience at the place. And I wanted to sing about architecture, because music and architecture go together. You know, the visual to the hearing part of it, they go inside. And so I never doubted it, because when I saw the condos that I loved, I heard the music, and I heard, you know, the synth, and I heard the sawtooth wave, or I can see it with architecture. I don't know if there's something with me, or I don't know, but I try to capture it. And I think that capturing that, like the condo's personality, and also capturing the sound of it, also it carries into freestyle and dance music. So that's kind of how it started.
Let's get into your latest track, Don't Stop Us Now. What sparked this song?
So actually, I'm gonna I wanted to hold up the record that George surprised me with, which is so awesome. I love Destin, they're great. But pretty much
he actually surprised you at the Calle festival, right?
Yes, that was wild.
I saw the video, I saw the pictures. That was awesome. That was pretty cool.
They handed it to me. I was like, this is crazy. It feels real. You know, you see it and you're like, whoa. you're making music. But yeah, Don't Stop Us Now. It was the first track, George, he didn't tell me about Cayocho last year when I did Romar House and Condos by the Sea. It was like the day before, and he's like, "Hey, would you want to perform?" Because he knew I was going to support. I was like, "Yeah, sure." That was big. That was wow. That was awesome. But after that, he's like, "Well, would you want to work on some tracks and some demos I have?" So he sent me an instrumental, and it was cool. It was like a late '80s, like how can I explain it? A little Karina-ish, in my opinion, vibe. And so I was living at Leilani Condos, which is my favorite condo, and it's built in the 80s. And he's like, "Well, write some lyrics to it." I was like, "Okay." So I'd walk around the condo, all up and down the stairs, by the pool, on the beach. And I just was like, I'm like, dun, 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 dun. I start with a tone. I try to get the note. And then I start thinking about words. And the tracks felt really like powerful. So things that were going on in my life, I was doing a lot of like Bible study at the time. So it really influenced me like lyrically on that. And I have a friend named Balance Universal. His name's Janelle, and he's an awesome poet. And he does rap and make music and MC and all that. And so I was going to a lot of his shows, and we were kind of like inspired by each other. So a lot of that had to do with our musings, like what we talked about during those sessions as Bible sessions. And then just like I was getting ready to move the house. Everything was falling into place. And I was living at my favorite condo. And I was like, man, God is so good. Like, God is so good. So the track really captures that, like, you can do anything, nothing is impossible, with God. And so it's a very spiritual track, and it helped me through that time, and hopefully, it'll empower others. So
How did you connect with DJ George Ojeda?
how did I always say that one more time?
How did you connect with George?
So it was after Romar House, and actually Pito, he found Romar House and shared it on his Facebook page, and he was like, "This is like the younger generation of freestyle." And he said, I don't remember exactly, but it was the kindest thing. And it kind of made me step back for a second, thinking like I had only 2 songs out by then, just released Romar House, and I thought, wow, like he really empowered me to think I could be an artist. I don't have to be a realtor. I don't have to be a contractor, but I could do it all, and I can incorporate it all. It was really cool. It was like, oh, whoa. So that's how he shared it with George, and then they really liked Romar House, and it was kind of the sound. He liked the fact that there were a lot of like Miami freestyle elements to it.
Yeah,
the drums and the synths. So that's how we all met.
What was the vibe like in the studio doing this song?
So funny stuff. I actually recorded it here. I didn't get to go down to Miami. I did not get to go to Dustune. But the next song, I'm going to. So I have a mic that I record all my stuff, and I asked George if I could do it here, and he's like, "Yeah, sure." So I did it at the closet of Leilani with all my '80s clothes as as a residence, like a chamber, to make the clothes dry. So that's what it was like. And
wow, that's pretty cool.
I had to do it. Leilani was under construction, so it was like for like 5 hours of the day. And then when they were on lunch, I was like, I gotta record. So I recorded. So literally, when I sing about construction, it's because I was in that environment building something.
So how long did it take you to record, and how many sessions did you have to record it in?
Not long.
Oh,
really, like just over, I'd say just a couple of days. And when I mean a couple of days, I mean like I like to sit on it, because sometimes my voice is very raspy and it's very hoarse. And so I'll record something for a little bit, and it does get kind of tired easy, and I'll wait, and then I'll like wait a day and then hear it. And I'm like, okay, I need to take that up a note, or I don't really like that, or that's too fast. And then I go back. So it didn't take long. Usually I can usually do things when my voice is feeling good. I can knock it out like in an hour or 2.
Romar House, how long did that take then? Just
Romar House was wild. Everything went really natural. I think I did it in one session, and I did have a
Wow.
lady, he would tell me if it was like, he's like, don't have the wobble in your voice, sing the word. And it was like, okay. And it worked out pretty well. But honestly, Don't Stop Us Now is a really easy song to sing too, which I was really grateful for. So probably the hardest song was it was Leilani, actually. I love Leilani.
I like that one too.
Do you know you put that one on?
I've listened to it too. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
one means a lot to me too. But that one was surprisingly was actually very hard to sing. So I had my friend do backup vocals with me. Then
Really?
it got yes.
And that one, where did you record that one?
Also right here, and I'm
Yeah.
actually at my grandparents' house right now. This is in my grandparents' closet.
I was gonna say, who is the Raiders fan? I see the Raiders helmet, and I see who's the Raiders fan.
Well, I am now, too. But it was actually my mom and my grandpa, biggest Raider fans ever. You should see my mom's condo. It says
Raider Nation.
Rest, yes, Raider Nation. She's like for life. Yes, she lived, in California and stuff. So she,
Wow.
yeah. So yeah, that's Kenny Stabler, and
Yeah.
yeah, and that's actually, I don't know if you can see, but that's Shaq over there. My uncle played with Shaq at LSU. So just fun facts of my life.
Well, you see my Dolphin shirt, so
I love.
I love the Dolphins. I grew up a Dolphin fan. I bleed aqua and orange. So.
Yes. So I had a pug named Reggie Bush, and Reggie.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
He's my baby. Got really, he was old pug. He was a sweet, but yeah. I used to have a jersey that said Bush, and it was Miami Dolphins, and I wore it as a kid.
Well, when did you realize that this song "Don't Stop Us Now" was? Where did you say, "Man, this is special"?
When George, well, the part when I thought was really special, it was the lyrics, in the light, it will come true. In time, it all comes to you. When that lyric hit, I don't know, something about it was like, I love this song. I don't know, something about that part. But it also happened when George sent me like the remix, which is everybody knows now, and I'm hoping we can release the original mix later on. But that his production is just incredible. His produce, and I always love, like, when I was younger, I would find a lot of Destiny records, on YouTube and stuff. And it's amazing just to even work with George because he's so talented. I mean, when he sent me that beat, it was like, whoa, it took me through a journey. And that's what the song is like a journey. So that's when
and what's cool about George is that he's been able to evolve. He's not like what Freddie said on our episode on the Destiny Records Takeover. Like Hilda's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Teach to Please. That's old school, but yet she's coming out with some new stuff, and it's amazing.
It's amazing. And I love her voice. I mean, just amazing. Yeah. Really.
So George has done the same thing. George has been, he's evolved, and like what we said earlier, staying true to its roots. We don't forget the old school.
Right.
But we make room for the new as well.
You carry that legacy,
Yeah, and you combine them.
Exactly.
How has the fan response been so far to your song, to this new song?
I'm very blessed because people have been very, very kind, and a lot of new listeners are starting to go in, because they might have known George and know his works and stuff, but a lot of new listeners now are looking into my work, and a lot of good response. Really, really positive things, and yeah, it's a blessing. It really is.
Calle Ocho, when you performed at Calle Ocho, what was that like? What was the energy like? How did you feel performing at Calle Ocho?
It was awesome. It was not what I expected, to tell you the truth, just because of the rain, from like my personal, but everything was, in my opinion, just perfect. It's the way God planned it to be, because the crowd, they were so many nice people, and it was a genuine crowd. It wasn't like people, it's great to have people pass through and be interested, but there were real people that just loved and were interested in all the new artists and all the new music, and, getting to talk with them. and connect with them. It was awesome. And a lot of great, like Chrissy Aisi, like she was there, like Planet Patrol, like amazing people, just amazing. It was so cool. And yeah, it was a great Cayocho, but I definitely I danced so hard to all the acts before me, which you're supposed to be backstage, right? Get ready. It's like, I'm not doing that. I love these people. This is my music. So we're dancing. I had a friend from Instagram that I met and met him for the first time there. So it was really cool because we were just vibing the whole time. And then, my friends and stuff. So it was great. It was great. And then I got on stage and I was like, well, do you want to get on stage? Because he was breakdancing really good, like old school, And I was like, you get on stage with me. And so he did. And it was very impromptu and it worked really well, I think. I just couldn't do my spins like I like because the floor was really wet, so my Reeboks weren't. It was like I had to go. And I didn't like that. I was like, oh no. I was like, don't think about it. Just keep dancing. so
And were you able to play all your songs on there? Romer House. Were you able to play all your songs, all your tracks?
We had just like a smaller set. So it was just Romer House and Don't Stop Us Now. But it was like a mix. So it flowed really good. And it was
nice.
Fun. Yeah, it was really fun.
All right. Let's talk about your real estate life. How did that path start for you?
So I guess it started I've always loved, I guess I just love places and buildings. And growing up, we lived in a lot of different homes. Growing up, just along the water and stuff, rented, because me and my mom and daddy Jim, we rented. So we rented different places. And I think that really changed me in my way that I really liked floor plans and designs and wanting to help people find their home, that they could live in. So that really affected me. But later on, so I worked at Publix. That was my first job. Floridian Publix, right?
I went to Publix too. Yes.
14. I started there at 14, the day I turned 14. So I used to bag
my son. Son too. My son, that was the first job at 14 years old. He went to Publix.
That's it. And it's a great first job because you learn just to love people and to talk to people and to just do the right thing, So it started that way. And I started talking to realtors and I started talking, to original owners that owned the condos in the 80s when they were built, older people. And that was the coolest thing to me because I was like, wow, what was it like back then? Who built it? And then I started getting into the developers and I really felt a calling with that because learning about who built them, I was really fascinated. And then I turned out, okay, I want to be like them. I want to build places and change communities and just make it better, good places to live, pretty places, and not just about money and greed. That's what development usually is. It gets a bad rap, But so that's spiraling effect. And then, of course, loving to help people because that's real estate was really great. Telling people because I'm born and raised here in Perdido and Pensacola. My mom knows Pensacola, so I can tell them things, that help them in history, who built this, who did that. So that really resonates with me to help people that way. And that's how real estate got started. And what's crazy is my blood dad. So my dad that raised me, Daddy Jim, he was in construction. And then my blood related dad, I reconnected with him and we were just alike. Never raised, but we were just alike. Loved Frank Lloyd Wright, loved architecture. He graduated from construction. And I didn't know that. And my mom always told me about him, but I didn't know specifically, So knowing him and just having that foundation really just affirms my soul that I feel like this is my calling, and to carry their legacy. So sorry for a long-winded thing, but it's
no, that's awesome. I listen. I love stories. I love stories, and the longer the better. Honestly, when did you reconnect with your biological father?
Early college, late high school.
Okay,
right around COVID era.
And you're still in communication with him?
So we were, but he ended up passing away.
I'm so sorry.
But yes, I am still in communication with him because I do think about him every single day.
Awesome. I'm so sorry.
Really, really tragic. But, we walk through the valley of death. And I actually just read that today, and God carries us through. And I do believe,
Yeah.
I believe in my angels. I know they're guiding me. I do. Yes, sir.
Amen. Amen. And your father that raised you, is he still with us or?
Passed away too.
Wow.
Not to be depressing, but
No. But we gotta honor. These are the people that paved your way. So
Mhm.
we gotta honor them anyways. We still gotta honor them. So it's not depressing. It's just
Yeah,
again, my condolences.
thank you.
Um.
And
So
he passed actually 10 years ago, so it'd be June 2016.
wow.
And that really, honestly, when you ask about what changed, like what made me do things, after he passed away, like I guess I never had death really close to you. You've had your great grandparents, when you're that age, and stuff. But that taught me a lot. It really him passing and then working at Publix. I always say, really, that's when I was saved. I mean, I was always Catholic, going to church and stuff. But that was when you really call on God, and that really changed the way I live. And I wish they were here still. I really do. I always want to talk to them, but I know for sure that my dad, Jim, this whole 10 years, he has been just up there with God, guiding everything. I mean, JC, everything in my life is like, but I know it's the love. And then of course my real dad, which if Dad Jim, wouldn't have passed away, would I have reconnected with my dad because of that? So things happen for a reason. But they're both things that happen. It's there's a greater power, and there's more to this. So
Yeah,
I, yes, sir.
and the good thing is that you have your faith, and
Mhm,
you know God is in control at the end of the day, and
mhm,
things do happen for a reason.
mhm,
You know,
mhm.
so again, that's you. I love your perspective. All right, and I love your faith. That is amazing.
Mhm.
Um, what's a typical day like balancing music and real estate?
Well, music is like constantly on, 24/7. So music kind of like makes me sane to the business, because when I'm going crazy, right, and doing like stuff, I'm like, I'm gonna write a song about this. Like I have to have, kind of that creative outlet balances all the work, all the estimating and the contracts and the people and the blah blah blah. And then there's music. And so it really like they actually go along really well. I'm doing this with my hands. I don't know why. They're balancing. They go well. So I'll be stressed, and then usually a song comes out of it.
So
Or
so
stressed,
so so
I
do
don't
you
know.
carry like a notepad and you start writing? If something pops into your head, you start writing it.
Yes, sir, I do. Or if I don't have a notepad, I'll do notes in my phone, which isn't very 80s. Don't tell anybody I do
No.
that. But I do. I'll be like, whoa, and I'm like typing. I'm like singing to a beat, or I get a melody.
What skills from real estate help you in music, or vice versa?
Ooh, probably the biggest skill would be well, the people part is the biggest, because in music and real estate, it's all about connections, all about
Hmm.
meeting people. It's all about, getting personal. It may not be the style of music they like, but meet them. You never know, just like in real estate, you may not be the realtor for them, but you never know when you can make an impact on somebody's life. So I think real estate and music are very people. And I also think music helped me get more out of my shell. I mean, I've always been extroverted. I'm really an introvert, but I am a people person. But I think music helped me advertise, like be more out there, because I actually never liked sharing pictures. Never like, I didn't really like that, on social media and stuff. In fact, I didn't really have social media. I was trying to live like the 80s. I always had just Facebook, and that was it. And then like getting into the music, and getting on Instagram, and I did have YouTube and stuff, and it helped me connect with more people that also like the 80s and freestyle. So it's got like to be out there and your art, and to be an artist, because everybody needs art.
What's been your most rewarding experience helping a client?
Oh, wow. The most rewarding, just being able to have that relationship after the sale. So knowing the people and just being a part of their life and staying friends or even family, because some of them get really close, and it's like family. And then other people are still friends, but that's the most rewarding, really, is that. And then seeing them enjoy the place, because like I sold at Iterity Point, which is where I moved the house, and it's like a peninsula that's above the island of Pretty Doki. And they just loved it. They loved and they lived the island life, and seeing them go on the boat and, go to the grocery store and just love the people. That's so like, thank you. Thank you God for letting me meet them and have that happen. So
Well,
that's also,
that's pretty cool that you stay
yeah.
friends with the people that become your client. They're not just clients; they actually become friends. Because
Mhm.
in most cases, whether you're a car salesman or a realtor or whatever, get your house or you sell your house, and okay, see you in
Right.
another
And
20 years, whenever I sell this house. You know, but that's cool. That you've actually maintained friends with some of your clients. That's cool.
yes, sir. It's all about
Do
relationships.
yeah. And do people ever recognize you in the real estate world and say, "Hey, I've seen you in that video"? Has that ever happened?
We're kind of in a smaller community over here. And yes, it does
Oh,
happen. And now, like after the house move and Don't Stop Us Now, because I've like been more prominent, it is kind of like people are like, hey, you're the 80s girl. And it's like now I'm being known for the 80s, which is awesome. Because I was always doing it. I just didn't have social media, so it's like so that's cool. That's
yeah.
cool.
And what's that one misconception people have about a realtor or the real estate industry?
They so a lot of people think realtors like just want something from you. So they think, oh, they just want to sell this house and make money. That's not true. I mean, money, thank you. That's you know awesome. That's a blessing. But realtors were not about that. Like I said, we're your best friend. We'll be there when you need you. We could be, we can help you in any way. It's not just about like selling something and getting it done. It's about um, being a part of the community and being a wealth of knowledge, and that's what it give people that knowledge that they don't know about the market or what's gonna, happen, and things like that. So I think that's the biggest misconception. So
Let's talk a little bit about your faith journey. How did that begin? How did your faith journey really begin?
well, I was born and raised a Catholic, and so I always said my prayers, every night. And actually, like my mama, I could tell, now I lay me down to sleep and pray the Lord my soul to keep, that. So that's where it really began. And then throughout my life, there's trials, there's tribulations, and I just always had turned to God. And I think I mentioned this previously, about Publix and my dad at
Mhm.
gym. That was really where things got serious, and praying and really believing in, that people are naturally good and to love one another, to truly love and go out of your way and just smile. But that's something my mom always taught me as a kid, is smile at strangers, because you never know if they're having a bad day. And that little, lesson, that's God, that's giving people hope, that's giving people love. So that's really where it started.
When, but, and when did your relationship with God become real to
That
you?
honestly, as long as I remember, it was, but I would say 2016, right? When I started at Publix and I realized the impact. It's not me, that it's the Holy Spirit. It's not me. People are like, "Oh, you're so happy," and "Oh, you're so helpful." And it's like, "No, but that's because God called me to come up to you. God called me, to take your groceries out, or something fell and I ran over, and that's when it became like real. And then at the same time, so the house I moved was built by a man named Tom Nonnenmaker. And when I really started getting into, praying and being saved, right? Being saved, like in that moment, Publix, I started seeing things kind of light the way. And I met the Nonnenmaker family by a God wink, by chance. It wasn't by chance, but it was by a God wink. And I met them, and just little things. So I met them at this fundraiser, and we kept in contact. And later on, I told them, "Oh, I love Leilani, and I love your dad, and I want to, interview you about Orange Beach history and stuff." And then, later on, when I got to Auburn, they had a house that their kids lived in, and I asked if I could rent, and they said, "Yeah, sure." So they, I lived in the house they lived in. So that really, just seeing how things happen, like seeing the full circle of things, you see God's power, and you may not know the steps, but now I realize, it's all God. So it's a multitude of those things, but it's a lot of like just believing in, just believing that there's a reason for everything.
Amen. How does your faith guide your decisions in both music and business?
Always, I gotta say, I always want to bring the light. That's what it is. That's a good, because, and I told, now I'm talking to you, I'm telling myself that too, because I need a reminder every now and then, we get down and seriously always be the light. And with real estate or music, if I could change people's mind about a place through a song, that it's more than a place, it's the soul, it's looking inward, it's praying, right? It's looking inward, looking in your heart and soul, and knowing that there's more to life than what we see. And that's really it in real estate and music. It's kind of the same thing. It's like you said about realtors, misconceptions, just money. It's like, no, there's so much more. It's kindness, it's joy, it's compassion. It's going out of your way for somebody, whether it is real estate or music. Yeah, that's what it is. Yes, sir.
So you could eat. So it's free. So I'm free to say that you use your platform to represent your faith and to share your faith.
And I don't care what people think.
I love it. Yes, I love it. I love Jesus, and I'm proud.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Listen, and I've said it before. I've said it before. If this is the last episode I ever do because of it, so be it. I'm not asking people not to watch, but this is not a Christian podcast. I'm just a podcaster that happens to be a Christian.
Right.
And I have had Christians on. I've had people share the faith. As a matter of fact, I had a rapper on, a Christian rapper on, and his testimony is crazy. I'm going to send it to you. I'll send it to you.
Me.
Yeah. And him and me have become really good friends. He's actually one of my closest friends now. But
wow.
Yeah.
See how things
it doesn't matter.
Like that.
It doesn't matter what people think. Yeah, you're a Christian. God comes first.
God comes first.
Amen.
I owe it all to him. And, I'm very fortunate when people do listen to my music, but if they don't want to listen to it for that reason, but it might change their life too. So that's it. That's it. I'm just, there's nothing wrong with, God is love and love is light. And what's wrong with that? I'm going to give it out to the world. And hopefully,
Amen. I want people to watch my episodes not because of me, but because of my guests. In this case, because of Kylee. But at the end of the day, if only one person watches this, I hope and pray because of because of what you've shared, it hits somebody and it affects somebody in a positive way. Yes. Even if it's just one person that watches this 100%. Episode.
Thank you. You're so right.
We did our job,
sir. Yes, sir. And that's what I try to do in music, and I try to do in real estate and construction, and just doing the right thing, and just hopefully it might save somebody or change somebody, or just, or like you and me build on top of each other and make this great wave. of impact.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, have you faced moments where your faith has really been tested, and you're screaming at God, which a lot of religions, a
Mhm.
lot of beliefs say, "How dare you scream at God?" Hey, I'm a child of God. The same way my kids have screamed at me, and then they've lived to regret it. But I've screamed at God.
Mhm.
Have you ever had those moments?
I have, and I'm going to say this because I have not ever gotten mad at God. I have cried to God, but I know that
Okay.
everybody has a different relationship, but I
Yeah,
have never
absolutely.
doubted him. Like I've never, because that's just me. I don't doubt him in that way,
Hmm.
but I have cried where I'm like, why did this happen? And I don't doubt God at all, but I'm just like, because like, okay, for example, because we're getting, last year, my grandma's closest friend, her name was Cecilia, and we loved her. I mean, they were like family, like, and they still are, her family and our family. She was you would never guess she would ever be sick. She was always dancing, biggest Elvis fan ever. Danced to every song, and she'd make me get up. Doesn't care where we're at. She's like, "Come on," she's dancing. She does not care, and she's like, she was in her 70s, and she was just a light. And she passed away out of the clear blue. I mean, 1 minute we were dancing to an Elvis tribute concert. And then all of a sudden she said she had this terrible pain in her back. And the hospitals here could not find it. So they gave her muscle relaxers and sent her home. And she was sepsis. And it was too late. And because you say that about, when I scream, it's like, and I've said that, with Dada Jim and my dad, it's like, but I've never gotten mad, but it is like, why? Why? And then when I asked God, the answer that came to me was life is a test, and some people pass their test. And when I think about my dad, Jim, and I think about my dad, and I think about Cecilia, and I'm not saying, nobody's perfect. We're all sinners and we all make mistakes. But it is interesting to note how, I was just thinking about that before Celia passed. I was like, man, Celia's such a good person. Like she's taking care of people, and people that my mom was like, I can say this because she didn't care. I don't like that person. And then Celia's like, well, I gotta give him a chance, And it's just in like road raging. And me and Mama kind of get that. And she's like, don't let them get mad at you. Celia's very calm. She's like, don't, things like that. And it's like kind of chilling, it's like, wow, she's unbothered. And that's how Dada Jim was. And even my dad, like after we reconnected, it was such like, it was like they passed their final test. And I don't know when our final test is going to be, but in those times of why, I'll sit and just sometimes spend hours like usually I'd be at Leilani or the beach, and that's kind of where I pray, and it's like I just look at the waves and I just pray. That's what I do.
That's awesome. Yeah, yeah. So you meditate on God, and
Mhm.
yeah. Um, how do you stay grounded in an industry so unpredictable? Both,
Both. So
both. They both are. Yeah.
I have waves. Sometimes I'm like, why am I doing this? In both real estate and music, which is wild. I do. And talk about God again. I'll get messages like from one of the non makers, talked about that family. At the Clip, I was like, I shouldn't be doing music. Actually, it got, so I'm so personal with you now. I actually got banned from Leilani. Long story over something very silly. And because I was inquiring about the construction, because I had a question. Anyway, and I was so down about it. I was so down about it that I was like, I couldn't even cry about it because it just felt so unreal. And I was like, why am I making songs about condos when they all hate me? I was thinking that. I was like, they all hate me. And then all of a sudden I got this text, and I'm just trying to make them a better place, just trying to get people to be a community. And And I got this text from a nonin maker, and he was like, I have a Clear Blue on Facebook, and he was like, I hope you're having a good day. And he was like, just keep going with your music because it's really good. Just keep going and don't stop. And I was like, and it was just like, whoa. I mean, right after I thought that. I mean, I was feeling so low. I told God, I said, God, I'm not doing music. I'm done. I'm done with real estate. I said, I'm going to do only construction. And then all of a sudden I got that text, and it was like, that was just a test. And now see that wave has passed. Everything's all good with Leilani. Everything's all good.
And I do like to think that he has a sense of humor.
Yeah, honestly, that was
Because of that. That's a perfect example.
It was just crashing. It's like, why am I being so weak? That's so silly,
Have you ever had to turn down any opportunities because of your beliefs?
No. What's interesting, I know I'm pausing because
None.
I've actually had a show and very nice people, and I don't judge them, but I've had 2 shows at a store that is very like they accept everybody. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but they are openly Satanist, and very open with it. And I don't care. I can be friends with you. We can. So I wore my cross and performed and thanked God, and there was no problem with it. So that was probably the most that's interesting because they're very nice people, and I just they can do whatever they want, but I'm still gonna pray for them. And I don't know if they'll watch this. I don't know if they will, and I'm not gonna say any names or anything, but I do pray for them. I do. And I pray for their hearts, and their souls to turn. And so yeah, but I just got there and do it. And it was a lot of different artists with a lot of different beliefs, and we're all together. But it was a beautiful thing because there was a lot of good things happening, it was powerful. So
Well, there's gonna be 2 things on that. One, you will probably get, or you did get a lot of criticism from believers.
Mhm.
But on the other side is you did a Jesus thing right there. Jesus, how many people didn't Jesus sit with that were non-believers?
You're so right.
And guess what? Hopefully, in the name of Jesus, once again, if you made an impact on one person, you did your job. So kudos to you. Kudos to you.
I'll talk about it on here because I've not talked about that.
Really. But that's very cool. That's very cool. Yeah, you don't have to mention names. No. But
it was just cool. Like you said, it's just like you said, if I can make an impact on one person, and I'm not going to judge, I'm not going to tell anybody anything. I'm just going to go out there and be who I am, be the light. That's all.
What would you say to someone chasing dreams but struggle spiritually?
Chasing dreams by struggle. Is that what?
No. What would you tell to someone who's chasing the dreams but they're struggling spiritually?
Oh man, I would just I'm thinking about it because I have a friend right now who's in that position, and first thing I can do is I'm gonna pray for them, and I'm gonna tell them, I'm praying for you, so know you're not alone in this. I think that's very important because I think there's a lot of people that passed away, that it's like, is there anybody praying for them? If they didn't have a family or something, or people that are alone, and you wonder, people you meet by chance in your life. So I think the most important thing is letting them know that you're praying for them so they're not alone. And then maybe suggesting them, just don't lose the faith. If you're doubting, just keep praying, keep reading inspirational hymns, and it's funny because a lot of people that are struggling, usually God sends angels, and God will send people in their life, and it's gonna it's going to click there. I know it will. They're going to see it, and they're either going to avoid it or they're going to heed the signs. And what I tell them is, please, please, please be aware, because you know what's going, and you're struggling, but because you have that discernment, and just pray for discernment. That's what I have to say about that. Because we've all been there.
You juggle a lot. You're an artist, realtor, you're a woman of faith. How do you balance it all?
With my faith. It's like these little pockets, and they're all connected by the faith, and that's how I do it. But I do I procrastinate a lot. So I oftentimes pray, Lord, please, please just let me finish this. Let me, get through this, get started. Because it's a lot of things I do are very it's a big uphill, and you're looking at it and you're like, that's a lot, but just sections, and getting through that phase, saying, thank you, God, just get me through these phases so I can learn about it, learn to be better, do the process. So
Do you ever feel pulled in different directions?
Pulled in different directions? Not really, actually. I think everything I've been doing is lighting. There's a path that's lighted. Is that the term? And I've been just following it. I don't really feel everything, because everything kind of goes well together.
Okay.
So I don't really feel pulled. Like, real estate's not taken away from construction, and music's not taking away from construction or real estate. It's all kind of like together, which I'm very thankful to have that. It's cool.
Yeah. What does success look like for you right now?
Right now, like success in the future, or like just
yeah. What would you? What does success look like? What will you feel? Man, I made it.
I think that it's always good, expect nothing but appreciate everything.
Mm-hmm.
I love a lady that I met like one time at a New Year's party. She's so nice, but we became friends on Facebook. Just caught up, and she posted that, and I've always thought that in the back of my mind, that everything you do is enough. Everything you do is important, and it's good. And so I think so far, I gotta say, I'm very, very thankful. I'm very, very, I think I've hit it, right? But there's always room to grow. And I'd love to see the music grow. And that's something that, like, real estate and construction is more tangible. Like, okay, I got this property, I'm gonna build a house, I'm gonna sell it. And then, music's like, okay, how do I, because it really, I guess I would like to start performing more, and I would like to just impact more people. And that's all, just to have a bigger audience, to impact more people, if it's Lord willing, And if I stay small, not a big deal. But in the real estate aspect, I do want to eventually build condos, and very, like, environmental conscious, very design conscious condos that, blend in the environment and the heritage of our area. So that, to me, that's success. And also, I'm going to be bringing back a lot of my dad's designs. So he did some architecture, and he never fulfilled it. It never came into fruition. So I'm going to hopefully take what he designed and make it happen in real life. And that's
wow. And you have all his blueprints and all that stuff? You have all his stuff? Nice.
And it's not like, a lot of them aren't completely filled. So, like, I feel like that's my dad telling me, like, okay, you can have your input, and we can. So that's going to be, I mean, moving the house was already like, I could die happy now. Like, I could die now. Like, but no, but so. Yes.
That is really, really cool. Wow.
Thank you.
Very, very cool.
Aww.
What's next for you musically? What are your next plans? When can we expect another song? Are you working on it right now? Do you have anything in your catalog?
I have so many songs. I've had songs for years, actually.
Really?
I do, because I get a vibe from a condo, right? And I'm like, I want this.
Right.
But in the future, so like hopefully this year, me and George are working on another track called Galvanize, which is, I wanted to be like a Depeche Mode, like freestyle, but like a little darker, a little like, so that's going to be coming out, which also goes along the construction theme, right? Steel.
When can we expect that?
Oh man, I'm hoping in the next couple months. It depends on when I can get the vocals recorded and George producing. So that's still in a little early stage, you know. But my next track though, that's very much going to come out is Sunswept. It's about Sunswept Condos, which is the brother condo to Leilani, and it's like a Honey to a Bee by Tina B, like, you know, waterfront home, like that type of vibe. I even put a little Daz band, little influence on that. So I'm excited for that track. And the video is going to be like 80s aerobics at the condo. And so, so it's going to be cool. It's about love, you know, and it's a passionate song. So that one is almost done. I'm just doing a little tweaking to my vocals and stuff like that. And then I have another song called Compass Point. That's about a condo that was destroyed by a hurricane. It's not here anymore, but it was built in the 80s, and it is going to be like a kind of chill freestyle. Very mysterious. So that one should be coming. I wanted that one out in winter, but it'll probably be out this summer.
Any plans on collaborating with other singers?
I would love to. No plans currently. But like even collabing with like Hilda or Sammy, I'd really love to do something with like a male vocalist in the 80s. Like I was listening to what was I listening to the other day, and I thought I really want to collab with them. I guess just like, it was Erotic Exotic. I was like, I would love to do a song with them. And even Secret Society, like I just really, really want to. So I asked Pete though, and I'm like, and he's like, anything's possible. He's like, we can. Yeah. And I'm like, I would love to do that.
Al Paris is the one who is he's heading the Erotic Exotic. He's part of the original.
So cool.
After Eric passed away, he continued the legacy. So he continued. Erotic Exotic never really went away. They just which is pretty cool. But that would be cool.
The Voice and Fashion too. Really want to do something with them so bad. After Chained, I'd like to do like, it'd be kind of cool to do like if I could do a remix of Chained with them. So anyway, sorry I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just
no. And you mentioned Sammy. I think that would be pretty cool, like a bilingual song.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking, bilingual and like just two powerful, you know, women just doing our thing. I think it just would be a fun track. We could do something really cool, really cool.
That's cool. What impact do you want your music to have on people?
Well, to make them dance and to make them happy and really feel it in them. You know, that's and also question. I want them to listen to it. I want them to think like I think I mentioned this before, but I want them to see the condos in a different light. Mm-hmm. Like this is a lifestyle. This is culture. This is art. This is not just I'm going to buy this to invest and rent out. I'm going to be a part of this living thing, you know? And of course, with just normal songs of mine, I just want people to honestly just with my poetry and art, just see construction in a different way. Just, I guess I want to create like Jimmy Buffett. I want to create a world within a world, and I want to take people to it like an escape, and I want them to escape. So that's what I really want is the people to really, you know, feel this 80s Florida time traveling world that I'm creating.
What's been the biggest lesson music has taught you?
Oh, the biggest lesson. Keep the faith. Definitely keep the faith, because music will make you down. And I'll make you down, but just keep the faith, and it does get better. And music honestly has been it's been hard, you know, not necessarily from a producing or making standpoint or writing, but just to get people to like listen to it. Now, like the freestyle community is so awesome. I love y'all. You know, I love all we are y'all, like that's the support I get. But where I live over here on the Alabama Florida line, you know, country is dominating here. It dominates here, right? So to be making dance music, which in the 80s there were totally clubs, like the best clubs here. There were like, I mean, Panama City, Club La Vila, you know, and MTV and stuff. Like there were dance clubs. And it's hard though when that faded away and our area is not very open to dance music. They're very like, so that's where it's hard is to get maybe I should pioneer here. I think we mentioned that before, like pioneering areas that don't have dance music stuff, and that's something I've been praying to God about a lot actually lately is where do you want me, Lord? Because is it here? I mean, I always want to live here. This is my home, and my family's here right now, but where do you want me to be? Because it might be Miami, might not be Miami. It might be, and we did, and I think Nashali mentioned this, like, because she's in Brazil and Brazil loves her. And so I'm very open to just going where God takes me because I don't want to give it up. But I think there's, you know, I don't know where it was in the Bible, but it was like Jesus, the people in his town didn't believe him. He had to go out and spread the word, and they believed him. And I think maybe I need to do that, you know. So
that's cool that you are open to if you have to move that you will.
mhm.
Cool.
Mhm.
What's been the biggest risk you've taken?
Biggest risk. I'd say the house move was the biggest risk. Because that's by grace of God, because my friend who owned it, and we became friends because I met him years ago, pulled in the driveway, and his name's Mr. Lloyd, and he is actually turning 95 this May. Yes.
Wow.
So he's a blessing to be alive and just a wealth of knowledge and kindness. And so and he's like kind of a, you know, forward thinker. Like he had some pretty cool like technology stuff on his house that he lives. He didn't live in this beach house, but he lived up in Fairhope. And so when I mentioned moving the house, you know, he was kind of like, yeah, yeah, he saw it, but it was like took a lot of trusting, convincing, and then lining up somebody who wanted to buy the land because I can't afford, you know, 1.2 million on the water. So that was I mean, the worst thing that could happen is the house would have been torn down, which would have been so heartbreaking because the house, not only is it all original, but it's just it's such a statement for Orange Beach history and our history on our Gulf Coast. Because the builder built all the first condos here, and he's my role model. But even more than that, you know, I prayed in that house. Mr. Lloyd would let us go in there and like work on projects for school. And I remember I was like, Lord, I was like, everything's material, but if I can move it and this could serve as a testimony that anything's possible with God, moving a house, Mr. Lloyd's 95, I'm 24, and I got to convince house movers that I'm going to move this thing. They didn't want to be hired. Convince a barge captain because both areas we took it to were super shallow. Like everybody's like, you can't put it in Perdido Bay. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. So we went out there, marked the tide levels, you know, like convinced a barge captain. One barge captain did it. And it took him so much convincing. He's like, we're going to need 3 barges, line them up, you know, all this crazy stuff. And then we worked together, one barge, you know. So that was a lot. Then finding the land to even put the house that's in my price range that, you know, doesn't have trees in front of it because I can't be on the water. And it's crazy. That was the craziest thing.
Wow.
And just a little, you know, but yeah, that was wild. I think even like taking a risk on developing a condo, I think that was harder, honestly.
Wow. To wrap up, where can people find your music and follow you? How can we support you?
Oh, sweet. YouTube is where you can find all my music videos, and I love the music video. So I'm gonna make a music video for every song I do. Every song, because I love it. That's the best
Cool.
part to me. Yes, sir. And it's all done on like old VHS cameras. But like if I'm doing a 90s track, I'm gonna use a 90s camera. If I'm doing an 80s track, 80s, 70s, I'll go back to, so it's gonna be cool. But YouTube is the best. There's also other platforms like Midnight City. They share a lot of indie artist music videos. So just liking and sharing them and commenting means the world to me. And then of course Instagram and Facebook, which Instagram I do like a fashion blog and a music blog and an architecture blog. And then Facebook is a little more personal. So, but you can still check me out on there.
Yeah, all of Kylie's links and her pages, they're gonna be in the description of this page, folks. So make sure you check her out. Check out her music.
Yeah.
All right.
And
If you have not listened to her songs, you're missing out. All right.
so sweet. And I think, me and George have a band camp. So buy some records. I want to make some homemade CDs. And when I finish my album, which I will be doing an album, it's not ready yet, but it'll be Declaration of Condominium. So it's going to have a lot of cool tracks on it. And yeah. And to come down and vacation here, so rent the condos I sing about. Would be crazy support if anybody's able,
Well,
That would be crazy.
and you have what's your how can we find you your real estate
Real
business?
estate is on Facebook and Google. Instagram, I do both, so I dual that one. But
Okay,
yes, sir.
cool. Kylie, thank you so much for your time. It
Oh, thank
was
you.
awesome.
That was so
Loved
good.
having you on. I hope you enjoyed it, folks. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to this episode, like that people can discover this amazing talent. Kylie, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, JC.
Bye, folks.